The color picker is one of the tabs down here at the bottom of the node view window. It's an incredibly important tool, so you will want to become close friends with your color picker. To get introduced, we'll load a simple script. Load, go to Exercise Files, Chapter 6, and bring in ShakeScript 01. Got a little picture of Marcy that we can use to work with. We'll open the color picker window by clicking on the color picker tab. If I click somewhere in the image, that RGB value gets loaded into the color wheel. The color wheel displays the hue around the perimeter of the circle, and saturation goes from no saturation in the center to maximum saturation at the edge. Down here at the bottom is the luminance bar, and this increases and decreases the brightness of the pixel values. So as you click around the image, the color wheel will show you the hue, saturation, and luminance of your pixel. If you scrub across the image, I'm going to scrub across this green leaf. Click and drag, and something interesting has happened. These 4 tabs up here become filled with pixel data across the length of your scrub. As long as you hold the mouse down, Shake collects these statistics. The Max tab is the maximum pixel value. This is the minimum. Here's the average. And the Current tab is simply showing you the last pixel value that your cursor was on. I can scrub the gray chip here. And now I'm going to open up the window here by clicking and dragging on the viewer. Change my GUI setup because I wanted to show you this. Values, the little plus sign means there's something there, so we'll unfold that. This is showing you the RGB value of the pixels that you clicked on. This is a read-only display. You cannot type any numbers in, but you can choose how to view them. This is set currently for an 8-bit integer. This would be a 10-bit integer. Here's 16-bit integer, and you can see your pixel values in floating point if you wish. The important thing is, no matter which one you have selected, you're not actually changing the pixel values in the picture. It's just scaling the code values up or down so that you can read them in the format you like. In addition to picking a color off of an image, the color picker can also be used to create a color. We saw earlier how clicking on the luminance bar will make it brighter and darker. But you can also come up into the color wheel, and by clicking on a spot, you can choose a hue, moving around the edge, or by moving in towards the center, a saturation. If you click and drag, you'll be creating another one of those sets of tabs up here where you have minimum and maximum and average color values. If you'd like to dial in your own RGB values, you can come down to the color values and open that up. Here you have the choice of these 4 color spaces. We'll unfold the RGB color space, and now we can dial the red, green, and blue values directly. Or you can control, click, and drag using the virtual slider in the data window like any other data window. If you'd like to build a palette of colors, you can click and drag any of the colors from the tabs down into the palette. If you've built a palette you'd like to keep, you can save it out with the interface settings by coming over to File, Save Interface Settings, and your palette will be saved out along with the interface. To remove any color chips you've added to the palette, just select a black chip, click and drag it and drop it on top of the chips you'd like to delete. Now let's switch back to the node view and adjust the GUI to get a better window size. There are many nodes in Shake that have a color swatch that you use the color picker to fill with color. We'll use the color node as a simple example. We'll put it in the Parameters tab, and here is one of those color swatches. If I click on the swatch, the color picker automatically opens up and they're connected. This yellow outline here says that this swatch is connected to the color picker. The first thing you'll want to do is increase the luminance so that you can see the color wheel. You can then click anywhere on the color wheel, and that color will drop into your color swatch. So you can select any color you wish, any degree of saturation, and any brightness. You can also click colors out of the image viewer. And if you click and drag to make a range of colors, you get the maximum and the minimum and the average. Any one of these can be selected and put down into the color viewer like that. In this movie, we saw how to use the color picker to pick colors from images in the viewer, or to dial in a color, either from the color wheel or by using RGB sliders. We also saw how to make a palette and even save it out, and how to use the color picker to fill the color swatches that are found in many nodes in Shake.